this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing some equations and we're looking at equations that have pronumerals on both sides. So if you're going to do this lesson today, hopefully you know how to do one-step and two-step equations. This is the next step to do pronumerals on both sides. So you can see we have a u on this side of the equation and on this side. So that's what I mean, pronumerals on both sides of my equals to sign. So when you have an equation involving two terms with pronumerals, move the smaller term in order to collect them up. Okay, so that should always be the first thing that you do. It's always the first thing that I like to do when solving these types of equations. So whichever one is the smaller term, we want to move it to the other side to collect them up. So 5u and 1u, 1u is smaller. So to move it, I need to do the opposite thing. So because that's a positive u, to move it, I would need to subtract u. And I would need to do the same thing over here to make sure that my equation stays balanced. I'm going to subtract u from both sides. That means that this one here will disappear. 5u minus u gives me 4u. I still have a minus 8 there as well, but on the right hand side all that's left is a 4. Now there is only one pronumeral in this equation and it's reduced down to a two-step equation. I have two numbers here with the u to move away. So u has been multiplied by 4 and then subtract 8. So the 8 has to move first. I need to add 8 and add 8 to both sides. 4u is equal to 4 plus 8 is 12. Okay, I still have a 4 to get rid of. So 4 is times with the u, so to get rid of it, the opposite, the inverse, all those names mean the same thing. Divide by 4. Divide by 4 to this side as well. Cancel those away. U is now finally by itself, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the answer, the solution to that equation, is that u is equal to 3. Question 2. 3v plus 2 is equal to 7 minus 2v. So I have pronumerals on both sides. I have 3v and I have a negative 2v. Which one is smaller? Well, negative 2 is smaller than 3, so this one is smaller. So that's the term that I want to move. To move it, I have to do the inverse. So I will have to add 2v. And on this side as well, add 2v. It's a good idea to put it underneath the other v's that you already have so that you can collect them up. So these ones will cancel away. 3v plus 2v is 5v. I have a plus 2 there, and that's equal to 7. Now I need to move these two numbers here away from the v. v times 5 and then plus 2. So 2 was last, let's get rid of the 2. Minus 2 is the opposite. 5v is equal to 7 minus 2 is 5. Now I need to get rid of the 5, that's times with the v, so opposite is to divide by 5. Cancel those away. V is equal to, you can just squeeze it in here at the bottom of the page, 1. And that's the answer. Question 3. 3w plus 5 equals w minus 7. 3w and 1w, which one is smaller? 1w is. So we need to move it. The w is actually positive. The minus belongs with the 7. This one's positive. So I need to subtract w. Cancel them off. 3w minus w is 2w. Plus 5 is equal to minus 7. Okay, two numbers here to get rid of. 2w plus 5, so I need to do the 5 first. Subtract 5 to both sides. 2w equals minus 7 minus another 5 will make minus 12. Last of all, I need to get rid of this 2. It's times with the w, so I need to divide to move it. W equals minus 12 divided by 2 is equal to minus 6. Question 4. 7x equals 4x plus 8. Two x terms here, 7x and 4x. Which one is smaller? The 4x is smaller. So to move it, I will need to subtract the 4x. 7 minus 4 is 3x. Those cancel away. Is equal to 8. Okay, now I want to get rid of this 3. 3 times x, so opposite is to divide by 3. So x is equal to 8 divided by 3. Now 8 divided by 3 is actually not a nice whole number. You're not always going to get nice whole answers for your equations. Sometimes you will get decimals, but it's actually better if you can to leave your answers as a fraction. So this is a fraction, 8 over 3. We could change that to be a mixed numeral. 3 goes into 8 2 times, and that 2 3s are 6, so 7, 8, there'd be 2 more there out of 3. So that's just changing that to be a mixed numeral. So always leave your solution to your equation as a fraction if you can. Alright, question 5. 11 plus 3w equals 9 minus 5. Did I say w? Y. Should be y. Let's say that again. 11 plus 3y equals 9 minus 5y. Alright, which is smaller, 3y or minus 5y? Well, if you just said 3 and 5, then you would think that 3 is smaller. But because this is a negative 5 is actually smaller than 3. So this is the better one to move. Okay, so the opposite of minus 5y is to add 5y. So 11 is here. 3 plus 5 is 8. Y is equal to 9. If you do happen to move the wrong pronumeral, you will eventually get to the same answer. It will just mean that you have more negative signs. You'll have to deal with dividing by a negative, which is perfectly doable, but just not as nice and easy as a positive number. So here, 11 plus 8y is equal to 9. The next thing to move is this 11. I need to subtract 11. Get rid of that. So I have 8y is equal to 9 minus 11 is minus 2. Now to move this 8 times y, I need to do the opposite, which is divide by 8. Divide by 8. Now, you can't, there is no 8s in 2. It's not going to make a nice whole number, but I can simplify that fraction. Dividing both of those by 2, I would get 1 over 4, or negative a quarter. You can use your calculator to simplify fractions for you, or even to change mixed numerals into improper fractions, or vice versa, like up here. So, on this next page, I have some questions for you to practice doing exactly what we've just done. Equations with pronumerals on both sides. So pause the video for a minute and have a try and see if you can remember what we've been learning about. Okay, now that you've had a try, let's go through the answers. 7a equals 6a plus 11. So which is smaller, 7a or 6a? 6a is smaller. To move it, I do the opposite, which is to subtract 6a from both sides. That will cancel that. 7a minus 6a is just 1a, or a, is equal to, and on this side all that's left is 11. So in this case, I have my solution already. It was just a one step. A is equal to 11. Question 2. 4b plus 2 equals 6b plus 12. What is smaller, 4b or 6b? 4b. So that's a positive 4b. Let's subtract 4b. Subtract 4b to get rid of that. On the left-hand side, we still have a 2 is equal to 6b minus 4b is 2b, and I have a plus 12. So working with the numbers on this side of the equation, we need to move them away. b times 2 plus 12. Okay, so I have to move the 12 first, subtract the 12, doing the opposite. 2 minus 12 is minus 10 equals 2b. Now I need to get rid of this 2. That's times with the b, so the opposite is to divide by 2 on both sides. Minus 10 divided by 2 is minus 5. You can switch sides if you like. b is equal to minus 5. Just a few more steps from the first question. Question 3. 7 minus 2c is equal to c plus 1. So looking at the pronumerals, I have minus 2c and c, or 1c. Which one is smaller? Negative 2 is smaller than a positive 1. So this is the term I want to move. To move it, I need to do the opposite. I need to add it. Add 2c. On this side, I have the 7. These have cancelled off. C plus 2c is 3c plus 1. Alright, again, I've got my numbers, my pronumeral, everything's on this side of the equation, so we're going backwards again. So 3 times c plus 1. Let's get rid of the 1 first. Subtract the 1. Cross them off. 7 minus 1 is 6, is equal to 3c. Now to get rid of the 3 is times with the c, so I need to divide it. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 is equal to c, or switch it around, c is equal to 2. Lucky last question. 4d minus 1 equals 5 minus 2d. So which term is smaller, 4d or minus 2d? Negative 2 is smaller than a positive 4. So we want to move this one. The opposite is to add 2d. Add 2d. Get rid of that. So 4 plus 2 makes 6d minus 1 equals 5. Now, moving these numbers away, 6d minus 1. So I need to move the 1 first by adding it. 6d equals 5 plus 1, which is 6. Now to move the 6, it's times with the d, so I need to divide 6. Cancel those away. D is equal to 6 divided by 6, which is 1. And there you have it. Once you get the hang of these, you'll find that you're really just doing the same thing over and over. And hopefully that will mean that it gets much, much easier. The only thing you need to be careful of is minus signs. They always seem to be a little bit extra tricky, minus signs, making sure when you're dividing by negatives or moving into negative numbers, that you're just a little bit extra careful, because that's where a lot of people make mistakes. So find some more questions of those if you can, practice as much as you can, and I will see you next time. Bye.